Once upon a time, in the golden kingdom of Zuwanda, where the rivers whispered secrets to the wind and the baobab trees stood like ancient guardians, there lived a young prince named Zuberi. He was unlike any other prince, not just because of his wisdom or his lineage, but because of a powerful, bittersweet spell placed upon him at birth. Each dawn, as the first light kissed the horizon, Zuberi became the most handsome man in all the kingdom. His skin gleamed like polished ebony, his eyes sparkled like twin stars, and his smile could make even the hardest of hearts melt. Every woman dreamed of him, every man envied him, and every sculptor in the land wished to carve his likeness in stone. But as the sun began its descent, a cruel transformation took place. His beauty withered, his limbs twisted, his once perfect features became monstrous, his skin darkened like burnt wood, his eyes turned milky, and his voice deepened into a rasp that sent shivers down spines. By the time the last sliver of sunlight disappeared, he was feared by all who saw him. Zuberi's condition was no accident. Long before he was born, his father, King Jabari, had angered the great sorceress Nyanga. She was an enchantress, with a heart colder than the highest mountain peaks. When the king refused to grant her dominion over the sacred lake of the kingdom, she cast a prophecy upon his unborn child. "Your heir shall have the beauty of the sun but the terror of the night. No love shall last, no heart shall hold him through both his forms, and he will walk alone in his kingdom, desired by day but abandoned by dusk." The king, terrified of the curse, sought out every healer, every shaman, every spirit talker, but none could break Nyanga's spell. Thus, the prince grew up knowing his fate. At first, he was hidden from the people. But as he reached manhood, Zuberi refused to be caged by his curse. Instead, he embraced his daylight beauty and became a beacon of hope in the kingdom. He led the warriors in battle, mediated disputes, and became the heart of Zuwanda's people. Yet, every evening, he withdrew into the shadows before anyone could see the truth. His palace staff were sworn to secrecy, and those who witnessed his transformation were either too loyal or too fearful to speak. But Zuberi was lonely. No woman dared to love a man she could only hold in daylight. One evening, as the sun dipped lower and lower, Zuberi excused himself abruptly, as he always did. But this time, Kalinda followed him. She had sensed something in him, a sadness, a loneliness that could not be explained by mere duty or responsibility. As he reached the sanctuary of his hidden chambers, he turned to see Kalinda standing there, her expression unreadable. "You run every evening," she said. "Why?" Zuberi's heart pounded. He could not let her see him like this. He could not bear to lose the one person who saw past his beauty. "Kalinda, please, leave," he whispered. "There are things you do not understand." She stepped forward, eyes filled with gentle determination. "Then make me understand." The last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the hills, and the transformation took hold. His perfect skin darkened, his face contorted, his limbs gnarled into monstrous shapes. His voice became guttural, his breath heavy. Kalinda gasped, but she did not run. Instead, she took a step closer. "Is this what you have been hiding?" she asked softly. Zuberi could not meet her eyes. "This is why no woman stays. This is why no love lasts." For a long moment, Kalinda said nothing. Then, to his utter shock, she reached out and touched his face. Not with fear, not with pity, but with acceptance. "I have seen many things in my travels," she murmured. "I have healed warriors with wounds far deeper than skin. I have looked into the eyes of men whose hearts were truly monstrous. But you, Prince Zuberi, you are neither cursed nor monstrous. You are simply a man who fears he is unworthy of love." Tears burned behind Zuberi's monstrous eyes. "Then, you do not fear me?" she smiled. "No, my prince, I see you." Kalinda spent every evening with Zuberi after that. She sat beside him, told him stories, and never once recoiled at his monstrous form. For the first time, he did not hide, but the sorceress Nyanga was watching. One night, as the moon hung high, Nyanga appeared before them in a storm of smoke and thunder. "You dare defy my curse?" she hissed, eyes glowing like embers. Zuberi stepped in front of Kalinda. "I do not defy it, I accept it, and so does she." Nyanga sneered. "No one can love a monster." Kalinda stepped forward. "Then your curse has failed, for I love him, in both his forms." Lightning cracked the sky, the ground trembled, and then silence. Nyanga's face twisted in rage, but the spell had been undone. The power of true, unconditional love had shattered the enchantment. As the wind howled, Zuberi's monstrous form melted away. His limbs straightened, his skin softened, his voice became warm once more. The curse was broken. The next morning, the people of Zuwanda awoke to find their prince more radiant than ever, not just in appearance, but in spirit. He no longer feared the setting sun. Zuberi and Kalinda were married in a grand celebration that lasted for days, and the kingdom rejoiced, for they had witnessed the rarest magic of all, a love that saw beyond flesh and time. And so, the prince who once lived in fear of the night learned that true love does not fade with the sunset, it only grows stronger.